How do I know God loves me? Now that is a question a lot of people ask no matter how long they believed in God. And for me, even though I don't question God's love, there are a lot of times that I do feel small and wary and can't really feel anything. There was this one early morning in November 2021 where I was praying and I came across this question. So I actually said to God, God, I know, I understand that your love is immense, but to be honest, there's just times like these, like right now, that I don't feel a thing. Right now, as much as I want to, I just don't feel how big your love is. It's kind of like standing on the surface of Earth, but not knowing how massive Earth is. I know that I'm immersed in your enormous love, but maybe it's just that it's too big, that it's beyond my comprehension, that it seems unreal. And right that moment, a strong thought hit me. It was this brief single sentence that went, think of the times I have worked in your life. And it was a very inspirational feeling, and so I went down the rabbit hole. I started asking more questions, and in response to that inspiration, I started reflecting on the times that God helped me in my life. There were a couple of times I could have died. Like when I was a kid, I almost drowned at the beach. On my way to work on the freeway, I was inches away from getting into a serious rear-end car accident. I broke my heel bone jumping into a river. Now that was dumb, but it could have got way more severe than it was. I actually talked about that in another video. I'll put the link in the description. Other than these life and death scenarios, God also blessed me in my career. God gave me a blessed family. God forgave me for the many stupid things I've done. God cultivated me in numerous ways to become the person I am today, both in the secular world and in the world of faith. And the more I counted the blessings, the more a sense of euphoria started to permeate my heart. I gave thanks to God, and that's when another inspiration hit me. Brief and concise, it went, God's love is shown not only in the massive aspects of life, but also in the trivial details in your everyday living. On sight, I understood it as God loves us by helping us with the big things in life. But God also loves us by helping out in each and every single tiny thing we need. Like when in the middle of a soccer game and I ask God to help me score. Yes, I do things like that. When I'm working overnight, fretting over my client presentation the next morning. When my YouTube numbers suck and, well, I've actually learned not to care about that, but still, God help me. Sometimes it's the inner things. When I feel sad, when I feel lonely, when I'm stuck in a negative mindset, God has always been the first person I reached out to. In fact, let me rephrase that. God has always been the first person to reach out to me. And in my prayer, the more I expressed gratitude, counting the times God intervened in my life, the more I felt certain that God will continue to be present in my life. And it came down to this point where I started to thank God for allowing me to love God, to have this privilege of believing in, serving, and loving the ultimate creator is not something I should take for granted, and thus I am thankful. So yes, God does love you in every possible way you can imagine, and also in every impossible way beyond your imagination. The elemental evidence of God's love is God sending Christ to teach you His words, and by so saving your spirit. And then of course there's God waking you up for work or school so that you won't be late. That's love too. When you can't feel God's presence, when you don't feel God's love, think of how God worked in you all along. And then think of how much more God will work in you for the big and trivial things within the remainder of your life. God bless you. God loves you. Peace.